Differentiating between inner critic and inner child. For the longest time, I confused the voice of my inner child with the voice of my inner critic. They can feel so intertwined, and when you're not used to tuning in, it's easy to mistake one for the other. But the truth is, they're two very different parts of us, and understanding the difference is essential for healing. The inner critic is harsh and judgmental. It's that voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, smart enough, or lovable enough. It's the part of you that magnifies your mistakes, plays on your insecurities, and holds you to impossibly high standards. The inner critic's language is sharp and demanding. It thrives on fear, shame, and self-doubt. Your inner child, on the other hand, isn't here to judge you. It's tender and vulnerable. It speaks from a place of emotions, fear, joy, sadness, or longing. The inner child wants to be seen, heard, and comforted, not criticized. Its voice often reflects the needs and experiences you had as a child, whether those needs were met or left unfulfilled. I remember a time when I was trying to write something creative, and nothing seemed good enough. My inner critic was loud. "This is terrible. Why are you even bothering? You'll never be as good as you want to be." I felt defeated, like I wanted to give up. But when I paused and asked myself what was really going on, I realized my inner child was also speaking, though in a much quieter voice. Beneath the harshness of the critic was a deeper feeling, fear. My inner child wasn't telling me I wasn't good enough. She was scared of being judged, of not being perfect, of failing, and feeling rejected. Once I understood that, I could shift my energy. Instead of feeding into the criticism, I could show compassion to the scared little girl inside of me who just wanted reassurance and safety. This distinction is key. The inner critic often disguises itself as a protector, claiming it's keeping you safe by pushing you to do better or avoid failure. But the inner child speaks to your unmet needs. When you hear that critical voice, try asking yourself, what is my inner child feeling right now? What does it need from me? For example, if you're berating yourself for a mistake, your inner child might actually be feeling ashamed and looking for comfort, not punishment. Or if you're hesitating to take a risk, your inner child might be afraid of rejection and needing reassurance that you'll be okay no matter what happens. Learning to differentiate between the two is a practice. When you hear that inner voice, stop and reflect. Does this voice sound harsh or gentle? The critic is harsh while the child is tender. Is this voice focusing on judgment or emotion? The critic is about judgment. The child is about feelings. What is this voice asking of me? The critic demands perfection. The child asks for understanding. Over time, I've learned that the inner critic is often loudest when my inner child feels most vulnerable. The critic steps in like an overbearing parent, trying to protect me from pain in all the wrong ways. But when I tune into my inner child instead, I find that what I really need is compassion, not criticism. When you can recognize the difference between these voices, you begin to reclaim your power. You can silence the inner critic by choosing to nurture your inner child instead. And in doing so, you create space for healing, growth, and self-love. It's a process, but each step brings you closer to the peace and wholeness you deserve. Affirmations to reassure and connect with your inner child. 1. You are safe and I am here to protect you. 2. Your feelings are valid and I honor them. 3. You are loved exactly as you are. 4. You are worthy of happiness and joy. 5. It's okay to make mistakes. You are still enough. 6. You are not alone. I will always be here for you. 7. You deserve kindness, starting with my own. 8. You are brave, even when things feel scary. 9. I see you, and I hear you. 10. You don't have to be perfect to be loved. 11. Your dreams and desires matter to me. 12. I will nurture you with patience and understanding. It's okay to play, laugh, and explore freely. 14. You are more than enough, just as you are. 15. I forgive you for the things you think you did wrong. 16. You are allowed to rest and take up space. 17. I will protect you from harm and keep you safe. 18. Your voice matters. I want to hear what you have to say. 19. You are resilient and capable of overcoming anything. 20. You are a gift to the world, and your presence matters. You can repeat these affirmations daily, write them in a journal, or speak them aloud when you're feeling disconnected. The goal is to let your inner child feel seen, heard, and cherished, because they deserve nothing less. This concludes this module. Before moving on, take a few moments of reflection. Go through the workbook and complete the exercises within. When you are ready, we will move on to the next chapter, which will begin the process of healing scars and wounds from the past.